Oh, hi there. Hello, kiddos. So we are starting to figure out how we want to separate all the materials. I'll go ahead and take off the lid. All the materials that are in this container, right? We're trying to figure out the best way, the most efficient, fastest way that we can separate all the ingredients in this box. Now, the first thing I think is, right, there's all this yellow powder, right? Is gonna be fastest, the best way just to take it out one by one, go, all right, let's take that little powder, put it over here, right? Is using our hands the best way to separate this material? No, there has to be a tool, something that was designed to help us separate materials and ingredients in different sized particles, solid particles, right? So I'm going to demonstrate and introduce to you a tool that we can use. And if you have this with you at school or at home, I encourage you to take this out, and once we're done watching the video, you will be able, hopefully by the end of this, you will be able to separate all the materials into their own in each individual cup. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around. All right, so I'm gonna put this here. What we have is called a sieve, or like a filter. All right, so what is good is, like, if you look, there are little holes, right? There's a container that will be able to keep particles in here, but if you see, there are little holes. And what this hole does is allow very small sized particles, small solid particles or liquids, to go through it. And everything that's bigger, right? If there is an object like this lima bean that's bigger than the holes, it's going to stay stuck. All right, so anything that's bigger than these holes is going to stay stuck. All right, so which particles, right, if you look in your cup, in your bowl, which particles do you think are going to fall through the sieve? Which ones do you think are going to pass through? So which ones are smaller? Are there any particles in your container that are smaller than these holes? All right, and then when you look in your container, which ingredients or which solids do you think are going to stay inside, are not going to be separated? All right, so this is what you're going to do. You are going to take your filter or your sieve, if you have one at home. All right, get your cup. All right, get a cup. I like to place it on a tray just in case anything that falls will be able to stay right here. It's not going to get all over the table. So I'm going to put a plastic cup on the table. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place the filter on top of the cup. All right, you're going to want to place it on top of the cup. Can you see that down here? All right, we can see it. And then you're going to take this container and you're going to dump everything in. So this should be empty now. And you'll see that I have everything from in here. And then what you do is you're just going to shake it. And you're going to wiggle it. You're going to shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. You want to shake it until everything that can go through the holes, through the filter, is through the holes. So I'm going to shake it. I keep shaking it. All right, that's what we're going to do. Shake it. And look. Now, this is cornmeal. This is what was in these. So this cornmeal went through the filter, through the hole. So what does that mean about the particle size? Is the cornmeal bigger or smaller than the holes in this filter? And what about everything in here? We have rice, we have pinto beans, and we have, I think these are lima beans. What do we know about these particles? Right, these particles are bigger than the hole, so they got stuck. They got kept out of the other cup. But now we still want to separate these ingredients into their own individual cup, right? We want the pinto beans in their own cup. We want the lima beans in their own cup. So now that we have these particles in this filter, what can we do in order to separate them into their own cup? What I think would be a good idea, since these are bigger, I can go ahead and take them out with my hands. All right, so I'm going to start with the biggest. All right, I'm going to start with the white beans. And I'm gonna just go ahead, take them out, put them into their own cup. Now, what do you think would be the next ingredient to take out? Should I take out all these little grains of rice, or should I take out the pinto beans? I'm going to take out the pinto beans. I'm going to take out these beans. Can you make a prediction? Can you guess why it's best to take these out next? I'm going to take these out because they're a little bit bigger than the grains of rice. There are many more grains of rice in this container, and I think it'll take a lot longer. So by just taking out the pinto beans, that will leave the grains of rice behind, and then I can just dump those in. So I'm going to quickly take out the beans, all right? Take them out. All right, we want to make sure not to put any grains of rice in our container. Okay? So I'm quickly doing this as fast as I can. I want to be as accurate. I don't want to put any grains of rice in our container. Oh, I missed. All right, so while we're doing that, think about how you're going to use your filter when it's your turn to do this. All right, I'm almost done, but we want to figure out the best way to separate each ingredient into its own cup. And look, now all the beans are out, so now I only have rice. So all I have to do, all right. So look, I have the cornmeal in its own cup. I have the pinto beans in another cup, the lima beans in a third cup, and finally, all the rice. All right, so we're trying to figure out the best way to separate solid objects and tools that we can use. So now, it is your turn, first graders. Good luck.